Alright, what's up everybody? How's everyone's day going today? Welcome back to Angel Customs, and today we're back again with the Isuzu Rodeo and a couple updates on her. Went to a junkyard and I found a Isuzu Amigo, which is a really cool car. I didn't even know they made Isuzu Amigos, but yeah, I don't know if you noticed anything right off the bat. If you've been watching my YouTube channel, I've talked about it before. But we got a brand new driver's side mirror and a brand new turn signal case thing. I don't know what you call them, but yeah. So I haven't fully installed it yet. As you can see right there, it needs a little screw. I got one screw holding it in right now. But yeah, it's really nice. I got it off 1995 Isuzu Amigo. No, 1998, sorry. 1990 a 1998 Isuzu Amigo. So we got that installed, and then we got the driver's side mirror installed as well. So yeah, it's pretty nice. It can fold in, and then it folds out now too. So I'm really happy about that. Here's the old parts that we got rid of, or here's the old mirror that I was talking about. Because as you can see, it's got a duct tape on it. But yeah, the mirror is actually in pretty good condition. I actually like this mirror way better, but we had to get it fixed because it was falling off. So yeah, and then the turn signal's over there, the broken one. So yeah, and then we got a brand new 15-inch, well, not brand new, let me rephrase that. We got a used 15-inch sub. I bought it off of Craigslist. 20 bucks right there. And the guy wanted 60, and I said, no way, it's really expensive. So yeah, I'm pretty sure my back tire is going flat, but we can air that back up later. Yeah, maybe a little bit. But the funny thing about this sub is I bought it, and the surround of it's big. It's in an unsealed box. I'll give you guys, let me talk about it for a second. Calm down, relax, you'll see it eventually. It is in an enclosed box, so it's sealed. But the funny thing about it is that the guy who sold it to me said there was nothing wrong with the sub, right? I get in, I hook it up right away, so I knew, because I was like, man, he wanted 60 for it, and I was like, oh, I'll give you 45, and the guy's like, fine. He didn't really seem too upset about selling it to me for $45, and I was like, guy's just like, fine, my brother's gonna be a little bit mad, but whatever. And I was like, cool. So he gave it to me, I paid him the money, I hooked it up in his driveway. I start driving, I crank it up to 25. Usually I play my radio around like 35, but I cranked it up to 25 because I was like, I don't want to overstress it yet, and I want to see what its limits are and kind of give it a little test bump. And all of a sudden I was driving about half a mile, I hear and it starts sounding really, really bad. And I'm like, great, what? So I pull over, right? I'm like, great. Pull over. And I go back, I open my hatch, right? I'm like, oh, let's open it, right? Open it up, and I look back there, and I'm like, no way, he sold me a blown sub. That is so uncool, right? So I'm like, crap. So I text him really quick. I'm like, hey man, did you know that your sub broke? Was there anything wrong with the sub? Did you like try to fix it or something? And the guy's just like, no man, I nothing wrong with it. So I'm like, okay. So I turn around just super quickly. I do this U-turn, not supposed to, but I did it anyways. So we do this U-turn really quick. Do U-turn. I go back, and he's driving out his driveway pretty quick. Then I'm like, hey, stop. And he's like, whoa. I'm like, listen to this. I turn it up, and it's like, it sounds horrible. I'm like, guy's just like, I don't know, man, you must have blown it. And I'm like, no, there's no way. I just took a look at it, and there's been glue. It's been glued back together. And he's just like, well, it wasn't me. The brother is just like, yeah, he starts stuttering. He's like, we never, and he can't really talk. And I'm like, yeah, all right. So the other guy's just like, what do you want us to do? And I'm like, okay, well, since you sold me a broken sub for $45, how about you give me 20 back and I'll try to fix it. And if I can't fix it, I'm keeping it and you're giving me my money back, all of it. And he's just like, fine. The brother's like, all right, sounds fine with me. So I go home, I get super glue, I glue the surround back together. Perfect, better sound. It still sounds pretty janky though. It's like at low volumes, like at 20, it doesn't sound good. So school started up about a week ago. So school started up about a week ago, and I was driving, and it started getting really bad. The sound system sounded crappy. Just the sub sounded horrible. I thought I would have to glue it back together, and so I'm like, great. So I text him again. I'm like, yo, man, where's my money? I want my money back, like, now. The guy's just like, man, yeah. So I need to text him back still. He hasn't paid me for it, but I driving home and I'm like pissed. I'm like, man, this sucks. He blew me off. He's not paying me back. This sucks, whatever. So I'm driving home, right? I'm like, okay, whatever. Get home. I'm taking my friend home. I'm like, dude, listen to this. This is hilarious. And he's like, yeah. I'm like, yeah, just listen to it. So I cranked it up as high as it goes. My volume, my front door speaker was like, sounded pretty bad. All of a sudden, I hear this, sounded like somebody shot my car. Like, it was super loud, and me and him both like ducked, and I like swerved into the other lane, and I just slam on my brakes. I'm like, what was that? He's like, I don't know. We're both freaking out, right? Then the sound system just sounds perfect, right? The sub's hitting hard. It's shaking my rearview mirror, and the bass is really clean, punchy. And I'm like, dude. And we both look at each other like, what just happened? And I'm just like, I don't know. So I pull back around. I go back into the school parking lot. I open up the hatch. Not kidding, right? I open up the hatch, and I realize the little dust cap for the JBL that has a JBL logo on it blew straight off and hit my back window, like, really hard. I'm like, and he's just like, what happened? I'm like, dude, you won't believe this. The dust cap fell off. And he's just like, what? I'm like, yeah. And he gets out and he runs over and he's like, dude. And I hold it up and he's just like, what the heck? Luckily, it didn't break my window, because it sounded like it would have broken my window. So this is what it looks like now. It looks like trash, but it hits hard. Ladies and gentlemen, the JBL GTO. I don't know what the model number is, but here's the 15-inch JBL. Right there. So, I learned that you shouldn't buy speakers off of someone that say they want 60 bucks for it, and you're like, I only have 40. Well, and if they say, okay, 40's fine, look at the speaker very, very carefully. Give it a test, like, oh, let me show you. So, basically what you want to do is, before you go buying speakers from anyone, I mean anyone at all, do these quick tests, because I probably would have not bought it if I did this test. So what you want to do, you get down. So you have the sub, right? You want to give it a quick. See, there's no sound. You want to do that a couple times. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. At least 30 times. Give it a good hard test. And if nothing happens, it sounds fine. The voice coil doesn't sound like it's rubbing, and everything sounds like it's working. Then ask if you could hook it up and bump it a little bit and play it at a medium to low volume, and then turn it up a little bit more and let it get adjusted to the amp, and then turn it up a little bit more, and then turn up your bass, and let it hit hard, and then turn it up all the way and see if it still is perfect. Because if it breaks like I did, like that's what I did, and it broke. See, if it like, give it a good 5 minutes of hard beating on the sub's hitting hard, and if it seems to check out fine, go ahead and pay the guy. But if it sounds awkward in any way or sounds weird, I would reconsider and not buy it. So the lesson of today is buying subs off of people may not be the best thing. I would just go and buy a brand new sub. Buying it cheap like I did is okay if you know how to fix it. Like, I know what I was doing, but see, I got ripped off hardcore and he still hasn't paid me. So the lesson is, make sure that you always test it, and make sure that when you are buying it, listen to his voice, listen to the two guys that are selling it, or if it's one guy. And if he wants you to meet him in a parking lot, definitely do a test on it. Don't just be like, yeah, I'll pay you money. I mean, go get in your car. If he doesn't let you test bump it either, I would say don't even buy it. So you want to test it before buying it. Always test your subs. Anything. Radio. If you're buying a radio, that's a little bit different because you have to hook it up and stuff. But even then, if he's in a hurry to like leave, don't even bother with. He's like, oh, I'm in a hurry and here, just pay me the money. Don't even bother, because most likely that speaker is going to be broken. Like, this guy kind of was dumb because he told me where his house is, so I know exactly where he lives, so I can go back any day and be like, where's my money? And I might do that, but even then, I don't really care because it still hits hard and it sounds good now. But just be careful on what you buy. Always, if it's sketchy, if you feel like something's wrong with it or anything, don't buy it. Listen for the voice. Like that, his brother was super like, stumbled over his words, didn't know what he was talking about, just couldn't even talk. Like, he knew that it was broken. And I could tell that he was like, and really didn't want to talk about it. So, voice, make sure that it's at a house or somewhere that they live, because that's the best place, because if it breaks on you the second day, then you can go back to the house and be like, hey man, this is broken. And then third thing is, if he lowers the price. If he lowers the price, say he wants $100 for 2 12s, and you're like, oh, I only got $50. And he's like, what about 55? And you're like, okay, fine, 55. Then make sure you look, even if you don't have your subs hooked up or amp or anything, test those subs by doing just like I showed you. Definitely push on them, each one, for 30 times. 1, 2, 3, like that. 1, 2, 3. And then take them out of the box. Take a good smell, like a deep breath on the coil, because if it smells burned, don't even bother with it. Just be like, no, these are blown, most likely. If they're super way too stiff to be even like just you can't even move it, they're probably blown. So the thing is, make sure that it's somewhere where you can go back and talk to the guy. Make sure you have his phone number. Make sure you do tests. Make sure that it's not in a parking lot. And if he wants $100 and you say 55, and he's like, okay, fine, 55 is fine, reconsider. Just be careful is all I'm trying to say, because I got ripped off hardcore and it hits hard now, but even at low volumes it sounds like crap. So be very careful on buying anything, especially audio equipment, because you don't know what the other person did. Like, he could have had that thing running off a amp that powered it way too much and it messed up the whole thing, or he just wasn't nice to the sub and kicked it around and beat it up and all that kinds of stuff. So you don't know what the history of the sub's been through. You don't know what's happened to it, how loud he's played it, how long he's played it for that loud, or any of that sort of stuff. You're just buying it because you're like, oh yeah, it's a good deal, blah blah blah. So the thing is that you just have to be careful when buying audio equipment off of different people, because you have no idea what that sub's been through. So thank you for watching. I hope that this helps you out. If you have any questions on how to check subs or anything, speakers, subs, amps, radios, any of that stuff, comment down below, and I'll try to comment back whenever I can. So do that. Stay safe. Buy good equipment. Don't buy the cheap stuff. Buy good quality stuff. So have a good rest of the day. I hope that you guys learned a little bit about the sound systems here. And yeah, subscribe for more videos like this, and stay frosty, everyone.